you, Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And the good Lord does indeed move in mysterious ways. Yesterday was a freaking nightmare, okay? A freaking nightmare. I think that's a fair way of describing it. A freaking nightmare. Everything that could not work, didn't, right? It was just, everything was like wading through mud. Couldn't get anything done. I got about a third done, maybe less than I normally did. It was very, very, very low product day. Just my computer wasn't working. Everything was seizing up. Listen, in my diseased, bizarre worldview, right? In my diseased, bizarre worldview, this was God just kind of squeezing my balls a little bit. Now, why would the good Lord do that? Yeah, why would a loving Lord do that? Again, this is just my worldview. I think growth generally comes through frustration and pain, right? And I think that's what God wants in life. He wants you to grow and be bigger and better, right? I think that's the fundamental point of existence, to be more tomorrow than you were yesterday, to grow and be a better person. And even if I'm wrong, I think that's quite a good way of living. Anyway, so this was a very spiritually crazy time of year, this 50-day period called Spherodome. Don't worry about this bollocks, right? I'm going to get to the point any second now. But, so I was going to record this video yesterday because I like to have a little bit of a buffer zone, right? I was going to record a news video yesterday. Bunch of news stories I hadn't got to, right? So I'm like, okay. And it just didn't work out. I couldn't record it, and it was really, really, really frustrating to me. The good Lord, as I said, moves in mysterious ways, because the exact microsecond, right? The exact millisecond I finished my live stream last night, this news dropped. The news dropped to David Tennant and Tennant Tate returning to Doctor Who. So I'm very excited about. There's a lot I'm very excited about right now. There's a lot I want to talk about. I was thinking about doing this live, but I'm going to get sidetracked if I do this live. I'm going to get drawn into other things. I have a live stream tomorrow. We'll talk more about it then. But there's a lot I want to talk about. I think this is, generally speaking, very, very good news. Right? I mean, if you like Doctor Who from 2005 to 2017, as I very much did. Man, I watched the Zygon Invasion last night, and I'll tell you what. Actually, let me get to the opening spiel. Then I'm going to tell you what it ties into all of this. Fine. Forget everything else. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are freaking awesome. Sign up to my Substack. Especially sharing. Sharing really helps the algorithm now. Listen, don't expect it to make sense. Okay? Whatever Google says, however Google tells you to dance is how you're supposed to dance. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Comments are very, very helpful as well. Thank you very much. I endeavour to reply to anybody who does take the time to comment. I'm very grateful. Listen, I am very grateful for your support. I'm very grateful for your help. If you're new to the channel, hi, how are you doing? If there's something would you like me to cover, just let me know. So like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, follow me on Substack. I've had an idea. I didn't have an idea. My idea was to say, yes, that's a good idea. Somebody had a good idea, right? I was doing reviews of Doctor Who Redacted, and I really can't talk about it, right? I really can't, because every time I talk about it, my channel gets hit by a community guide, and I just repeat what they say, right? I'm reading out their statements, right? And I always get zapped by it, and people would like me to talk about this stuff. And there's also that new trailer, which I'm not going to talk about at all, for Doctor Who Time Fracture. So I have decided, somehow I'm going to put out exclusive videos for anybody who's signing up to my paid Substack, which is like $5 a month, and I will cover all that stuff there, where I'm not going to get my channel struck by bolts of lightning. So like, share, subscribe, comment, sub. Listen, if you're going to sign up to my paid one, thank you very much. If you're asking me about my advice, and this is why I'm a terrible businessman, right? Because I like to tell the truth. But you ask me my advice, wait till I start putting out content. I have lots of great ideas, right? I have lots of great ideas. That's why yesterday was a freaking nightmare for me, like an absolute freaking nightmare, because I hate being not productive. It makes me absolutely crazy. There's a lot I want to do. There's a short story that I really want to write with Capaldi's Doctor and the meddling monk. I'm envisioning being played by Matt Berry. Right? I just really, really want to do that. I want to do it for part of was it season 4? Do I have a season 12 anywhere here? Season 14, which is a very, very good. I would say I wouldn't call it fan fiction. I think it's way too professional for that. It's these a few books by a guy called Dr. Alex, who was not a fan of the current era. If you're new to my channel, here it is. There we go. If you're not a fan of, yeah, there you go. So that's one of the things I want to do. I really want to write that. I want to do some artwork. I got some great digital art I want to do, Doctor Who related. But I just, oh man, if I just had another 20 hours in the day, right, I would get so much freaking done. So as I said, if you want to support me financially, I'm not going to stop you. If you're asking me my advice, if it's a good idea, wait till I start dropping content. Good advice. Fine, let's get this first story, which again, dropped the exact millisecond I ended my live stream last night. I mean, like, the exact millisecond. So this story has been bouncing around for a bit. And actually, I heard a rumor about this a day, 2 or 3 days ago. Somebody sent me that David Tennant was apparently beardless and in Cardiff, right? Is that true? Who knows? But the rumor that him, and specifically Catherine Tate, was returning for the 60th, that's been around for about at least 2 or 3 months, right? At least quite some time. And the rumor is they're playing other characters. It was dropped in. What's that website? Like this website you never heard of, Plymouth Live or something like that. So that they're going to be playing alternately, like the David Tennant's the 14th Doctor and Catherine Tate's playing somebody else. I have a feeling something like that might be happening, right? Or Rusty Davis is dicking with us, as he does. Rusty Davis does like to play with us. So before we actually get into this story, let's talk about things more globally, because I think this is great news, because this is what it was like when Rusty Davis ran Doctor Who. We had awesome news all the freaking time, right? Like, they just got more awesome every freaking day. It's like, oh, now we're doing Christmas ideas. Oh, now we're doing cartoons. Oh, now we've got tools. And why was there so much awesome news happening all the time? Because Russell T Davies loves Doctor Who, absolutely adores Doctor Who, and he in every pore of his being. So right now we're in an interesting part in fandom that I'm actually starting to post these videos more generally in more Doctor Who fandom areas. I have been posting my stuff much more where there are people who don't like the current era, because I understand if you like the current era and you hear somebody like me criticize it very, very, very heavily, it's annoying. It's annoying and it's a pain in the ass, and I don't want to be that sort of dick to people, right? I like to tell the truth, okay? I like to tell the truth as I perceive it. So, but I just think if you like the 2005 to 2017 version of Doctor Who, as I very much did, we're in for a great time. So people are people are always nervous at new casting, right? So we had well, I'm pronouncing the name Ncuti, but somebody said you first announced it Ncuti. Is it Ncuti or Shooty? I heard people say Shooty. I don't know. I guess we'll get used to it. I just get used to it. I'm still would like him to change it to Scooty, right? That would make my life so much easier, because that C in his name just throws me off all the time. So I understand. It's an unreasonable request, but Shooty or Shooty, if you want to consider it, yeah, you'll be a friend of the channel. You'll be a friend of the channel. Wouldn't it be weird if he did? Well, because he's so charming. He's so charming and so nice, right? He said, well, people are having trouble and I wanted to help them. He's not going to do that. Anyway, but we had awesome news happening all the freaking time with Rusty Davis. And I understand we've lived through a rough time, right? A rough time we're living in rough times in reality right now. But we've lived through a rough time in fandom. I think that's presaged the rough times we're having in reality, right? Jodie Whittaker's Doctor came in, as many fandoms did something very, very similar. They, to my mind, feminized the fandom. Now, you didn't necessarily need to do that with Doctor Who. Even casting a female Doctor, yeah, I really wasn't against the female Doctor at all. I was just against the just every level of execution of it. I really thought it was diabolical. In fact, I thought it was the opposite of Doctor Who, right? Jodie Whittaker played like a clueless imbecile. Like, it wasn't like Patrick Troughton, who like pretended to be an imbecile to get, to sneak into the Dominators. They wouldn't see him as a threat. She actually, and I've been watching it really closely. I've done some real deep dive reviews of her first season. and it's shocking, right? The acting choices are shocking, and the writing choices are shocking. It's not professional. That's really more. This is sub professional. And then I was on board for it. I was on board for it. By the time we got into Arachnids in the UK, I was like, oh man, this is awful. This is awful, and a political nightmare, right? It really is. Based on insanity, just derangement. But mostly it was just subpar. It was really, really weak writing. Again, non-professional. In my opinion, absolutely not professional in any way, shape, or form. So, and then when anybody commented upon it, they were called the worst names in the world. They were called racist, sexist. Okay. So we've had identity weaponized, right? Weaponized to protect Jodie Whittaker's Doctor from very valid criticism, right? Over and over and over again. So when people saw Ncuti's casting, and they noticed he was black and gay. I mean, they noticed it because it's a bit noticeable, right? I mean, it's like rare. It's not something that not something you can't lead with. For me, that's not a problem at all, right? For me, in my headcanon, there's no problem having a black Doctor. I really hope they don't infuse chooses personal sexuality into the character of the Doctor. I just feel it's somewhat inappropriate. And doesn't work, right? Seldom works. I think the only time it really did work was with the Doctor and Rose, and when I saw it, I was like, I like this, but it's a one-time only thing. It really genuinely is, and I think it basically was. After that, all romantic overtures were somewhat rebuffed, apart from River Song. By the way, who was River Song? Which incarnation was River Song married to most? Is it David Tennant, Matt Smith, or Peter Capaldi? Now, Peter Capaldi, his last special, he ends up spending like 20 years with River Song. So anyway, as I was saying, I watched Zygon Invasion last night because it was as a sort of test, right? As a sort of test, because it was a very, very clear political analogy to ISIS or more or like homegrown radicalized Muslim terrorism, right? Which essentially happened because there was this mass migration from Iraq when America pulled out, and then ISIS took over. And essentially, they ran screaming, and quite rightly too. So they all headed into Europe, right? Headed into Europe. It was a massive clash of cultures. And this, I'm not saying this to denigrate any culture. I'm just saying that is the culture. There's no pluralism in the culture that the people from Syria the people from Iraq were coming from. Right? There's no pluralism. It's not okay for a woman not to wear hijab. It's not okay for somebody to be gay. And so you have all those values. Plus, then you got all this mass unemployment, this boredom, this resentment. And then on the Western side, this complete failure to watch it whatsoever, to acknowledge it whatsoever, and they will call you racist when you acknowledge these basic facts that were blowing up. So it didn't work out very well, right? It didn't work out very well at all. Many people got radicalized. There were there were these rash of rapes. I mean, going just across Europe, especially on New Year's Eve, it was a big thing, right? Like raping blonde women. It was and again, I'm not saying this is intrinsic to any particular culture. I'm just saying these were the elements put together. So that essentially caused Brexit. That's my potted history of what caused Brexit, which caused like the entertainment industry and about 40% of them are just to lose their mind. That and Trump. I think both the failures of like these very left-wing policies, and they were, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm not waving the flag for any political party. They're all awful, right? That's my basic point. They're all awful. Stay away from any of them. But it was basically a complete failure of very left-wing politics, right? So that translated in the episode the Zygon invasion, Zygon inversion. Now, I always had a problem with this episode because essentially at the end you had these super radicalized Zygons who are clearly based on ISIS, right? Clearly based on radical Muslims, and the Doctor gives an incredible speech at the end, right? Just an incredible speech at the end, and the ISIS cycles go, oh, okay then, let's just forget it all, which obviously would never ever happen, right? It makes no sense. It was a bad analogy. So I thought, let's try watching this as a test case, because is it fun? Is it enjoyable? Is it Doctor Who, right? And to my mind, it was all those things, even though it was a platform for a popular political position at the time. So what's that got to do with everything? Because people are scared. People are scared who have been called Nazis, been called bigots, been called racists, completely disingenuously, right? People are scared it's going to carry on. And the main reason Ncuti was cast was because of his identity, right? I don't think that's the case. I think that was a factor, because we live in the world and the world has influences. I think it was certainly a factor. I don't think it was a massive factor. I think, I think before he got in the room, he was like, yeah, of course we'll see him. And he brings in a big demographic from of a younger crowd. Like my daughter, both my daughters would watch Doctor Who. They watched it with me when they were little, and they watched Sex Education. They're in their early 20s now. They watch Sex Education, and they go, "Oh yeah, I'll give that a go. I'll sit on the couch with my phone and watch it." There's a completely different culture of watching TV if you're not an old geezer like me. I like watching TV on a big wall, right? That's how I like to watch TV. Kids today, don't know they're born. Kids today like to watch TV on their phones, right? So that's the demographic he's bringing in. I think the delivery of his of this Doctor is going to be completely different and completely new, which really, really excites me. Right, a lot of things really exciting. But again, the people who have come to me in my audience, I would say, there's a lot of people nervous right now. Right, a lot of people are very, very nervous. I would say this story here is an indication, don't be, right? Yes, it's going to be woke, right? It is going to be, for want of a better word, because Russell Davies believes in all this stuff, and I think his work is an expression of himself, which I think is why it's very, very, very good. But I also think it'll be absolutely excellent. And I think Ncuti is going to be more popular than David Tennant. Why is David Tennant so popular? Because he's okay as a Doctor. He's not my favourite. I think Matt Smith and both Peter Capaldi were both much better, right? But David Tennant is beloved beyond beloved by such a huge section of fandom. Why? Because I have a theory. The first time you meet something is the way you love it the most. And most people came into Doctor Who, like a large a group of fandom came into Doctor Who because of David Tennant, right? And they and that's the one they love the most. I think Ncuti is going to bring in a ton of people, right? I think he's going to bring a ton of people interested to see what they're going to do with it. And I think Russell Davies is going to hold them there with brilliant, fun scripts, right? It's just going to be a good freaking time. Also, you have to keep in mind the world that the Rusty Davies' Doctor Who's written in compared to the world that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who was written in, Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who was written in. At the time, 2017, the world was imploding, right? 2016, 2017, the world was imploding for the people who work in the entertainment industry. They thought it was the end of the... They thought they thought Donald Trump would be, and Brexit would do everything that Joe Biden actually has done, right? It's like they thought the world was going to end 100 ways over, right? And they felt they needed to fight against it. From my perspective, it feels much more like that they wanted to validate themselves, validate their worldview, rather than do what they say they wanted to do. Right? So that's essentially so fine. Let's now with that massive preamble, let's actually read the actual story. We've got a few stories to read. David Tennant and Catherine Tate to return to Doctor Who in 2023. 10th Doctor and his assistant Donna Noble will reappear in episode, maybe look, this is the bloody Guardian, for God's sake. Yeah, no, proofreader in an episode to celebrate BBC's 60th anniversary. Will it be an episode? We don't know. They're reading a lot into this, right? Okay. David Tennant and Catherine Tate will return to Doctor Who for the 6th anniversary celebrations. The BBC has announced. The duo reunited after 12 years to film scenes that are due to end next year. That sounds like it's a cameo. That sounds like a cameo. Tennant, 51, first stepped into the TARDIS in 2005 to play the 10th Doctor, His final airing in 2010, blimey. And Catherine Tate Footatou starred as his companion, Donna Noble. Friend. It was better than companion. I like companion. The Doctor Don parted ways on the timeline had to wipe. Oh yeah, what a tragic, what a beautiful music, right? I love the Murray Gold suite that went with this, right? To wipe a Mary in order to save a life. A family. Bernard Cribbins. Oh, we can get Bernard Cribbins back. I freaking love Bernard Cribbins. He will not 4 times. He left her family with a warning that if she had a memory of the past, she would die because the powers that she possessed threatened to overwhelm her brain. Rusty Davis, who's returning Doctor Who showrunner, says, "They're back!" I wish I could do a Rusty. I got to develop a Welsh accent. They're back! And it looks impossible. First we announce a new Doctor, and then an old Doctor, along with the wonderful Donna. What on earth is happening? What's happening is Russell T Davis is back, right? You forget. Or if maybe you weren't there at the time. But he was awesome as a showrunner, right? It wasn't just the episodes were good. There was so much freaking joy oozing out of every pore of that era, right? I think the feeling of being in an era were better than the episodes. In my bottom line, and I'm just really happy to have that back, or what looks like to have that back, right? David Tennant took over the protagonist role in 2005 from Christopher Eccleston and was succeeded by Matt Smith. The Scottish actor returned for an appearance at the 50th anniversary. More than an appearance, he starred in it. Okay, so he said he was in Big Finish. Tennant and Tate's collaborations beyond Doctor Who. The pair appeared in Much Ado About Nothing. In 2011, Tennant also made a cameo in the Catherine Tate show. That was good, right? Fine. Yeah, just seeing what else is going on. So here's the next thing that I'm excited about in terms of Shooter's casting, right? And you got to keep in mind, this might be a lie, right? This might be a complete lie. Former Doctor Who's boss Stephen Moffat says he's seen Ncuti Gatwa's audition, and trust me, we're all in for a treat. Well, people say very, very aggrandizing things. Chris Chibnall in his interview in Doctor Who magazine last month. What's going to be on the cover of Doctor Who magazine this month? Is it David Tennant? Is it Ncuti Gatwa? Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? But he said in his interview, he called Jodie Whittaker one of the greatest actors of the generation. And she really isn't. If you like her Doctor Who, that's groovy. That's totally groovy. I have nothing against it. But I've watched a lot of her acting. She hasn't convinced me that she was the thing she was acting about. I think she's professional and acceptable if it's a role that she can believe in to some extent. I just don't. I don't think she even tried to believe in the role of Doctor Who. Right? I think she said, well, it's like a Teletubby. It's a silly children's thing. Oh, you tonic children's done. What, you just go and wave them like that? And I think that's why the performance was really so bad, so incredibly bad. So people lie, right? People lie a lot. But then he told Ray Jones, finally I can admit it, Moffat told The Telegraph. I've seen the new Doctor in action. Rusty Davis showed me his audition tape a while back. Well, February. No, not before then. He is magnificent. So here's the bit that I think is true, right? When you have blanket platitudes, it's like, nah. When you actually specifically say something, you're actually specifically saying something. He said, all at once, a brand new hero, which I really think he's going to be, right? I really think, and I hope he plays it with the tash and the blonde hair. I like that look, right? We haven't seen that before the Doctor. I really like that look. All at once, a brand new hero and the same wonderful old Doctor that we come to know. Trust me, we're all in for a treat. And I really believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're all lying, right? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just we have to have a difference of opinion. Maybe I'll love it and you won't. I don't know. But I think this is reason to be cheerful. The David Tennant thing, I think this is really genuinely reason to be cheerful, right? Hopefully. So what is this new season going to look like, right? What's this new Doctor Who going to look like? Well, firstly, we had this article over here from the Radio Times. It says Doctor Who boss teases immense plans for Ncuti Gatwa, right? I think Ncuti sounding better now. Oh, I hope I don't get it wrong. Everyone's going to call me a racist, aren't they? I'm like, no! I just never seen this combination of letters before, okay? I'm sorry. But he's holding back until Jodie Whittaker's epic regeneration. He's not holding back that much. Russell Davies is bursting to tell everybody everything. He can't wait for you to see his Doctor Who, right? And again, the excitement that he has, I think, translates into the show. I think it translates into fandom. I think it translates into the atmosphere around Doctor Who. And honestly, I think it's fair to say we've had a very toxic atmosphere for a long time, right? And as Doctor, for better or worse, and if you're somebody who disagrees with this, come on my channel and talk to me, right? I think we should all talk to each other. That's a good thing. You know, a lot of people were very outraged. Some people felt that the Doctor is intrinsically a white role, right? He's been white 6 years. Seems to be a switch. I don't really have a problem with the skin color changing at all, right? That doesn't bother me at all. Although I don't have trouble with people who do have trouble with it, right? People have this knee-jerk reactions. Oh, they must be racist, right? If you say, I don't think James Bond can be a black character. Oh, you must be racist. No. The first thing you've got to do is talk to people. Ask them why. Why don't you think James Bond can be black, for example? I think because he's from the English aristocracy, which are universally white. I mean, yes, I had a large influx of black people into the aristocratic life, I would say, in the 70s. And that's true. But then you can make James Bond like that. But at that point, you're changing the character so much as a different character. The question you should really ask is, do you think a black person can be the super spy that James Bond, like James Bond? Or do you think a black person can be a super scientist hero like Doctor Who? And if the answer is no, that is racist, right? That is racist. But if you say, no, it goes against the background of the character, that is not racist. And I don't think it's fair for anybody to say, oh, you're lying. You're just looking for an excuse so you don't sound racist. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Well, look at people positively, right? And I think that's just an expression of the toxicity that we had in fandom, which I'm so looking forward to being washed away, which I think is going to be. So following the announcement of his casting, fandom was desperate to know just how his returning to Doctor Who, Rusty Davies series will play out. Thankfully, the pair were both seen last week on the red carpet of BAFTA, where they were asked what they can expect by BBC and other press, and Davies says, remain coy about details. He did say the team has immense plans, and they do. But I can't believe that it's going to be anything less than what they're trying to do with Star Trek, right? They're trying to make Star Trek into a relevant, multi-showed shared universe, right? And it's really kind of failing on every level. But like that's really what they want to do, and they really want to bring in the demographic that Shooter's bringing in, right? They really, genuinely do. I think it's gonna be huger than everything. He said, I can't talk about them, but I can't wait to talk about them. It's just not fair. Jodie Whittaker's there. She owns it. She's got a big finale in October, and and if we start nipping, we have to announce it because people have found out about Ncuti, whether we like it or not. That's the curse of Doctor Who. I guess it must be the same with David Tennant. But that was flying around again months ago. You have to. 1 second. I didn't read the announcement. Where? How did I miss that? Really? I mean, what did he actually say? I can't believe. Wait. They didn't have Rusty. Oh yeah, here we go. They back and it looked impossible. Okay, fine. So this is a bit. I don't think. Maybe this is a missing story, or a parallel world, or a dream, or a trick, or a flashback. The only thing I confirm is it's going to be spectacular. They're two greatest stars to reunite for the battle of a lifetime. Oh, man, I'm excited just reading that, okay? I am just excited reading that. And again, David Tennant's not my favourite Doctor. By a long way. By a long way. So, yeah, I think they got immense plans. I hope they can do animation, right? This is my deepest one. It's like not even in the top 100. I mean, I think having a month-long orgasm is way above this wish, right? It wouldn't be a productive month, but I mean, certainly it'd be a fun one. Anyway, I hope they do animation, like really high level animation. When I say high level, look, I liked Invincible. I thought it was okay, but I want to see animation like what was it Batman? What was it the Batman Adventures? Like the like actually real animation that looks cool of classic Doctors called Doctor Who Infinity. Play it for write it for a modern audience with older Doctors. Get Big Finish to do the voice work, and you'll get people into the history of Doctor Who, right? Get people there. Oh, that's an interesting William Hartnell story. Oh, let's go check that out, right? Let's go check that out. You have to announce things in advance, but now we're going to shut up. You really, apart from a week later, and you didn't, and he's trying his best to shut up. 2023, you'll be sick of me. I guarantee you, Russell, I'm not, mate. I'm not. And I understand people are like, it's still going to be as bad as it always has been for the last few years. Maybe you're right? Maybe you're right. And I'm going to get burnt, right? I am going to get burnt if it's not. But, I love Doctor Who, mate. I want to be optimistic, right? That's what I want to be. That's the person I want to be in life. Shut up. In 2023, you'll be sick of me. Talk to me in 23. That's going to be my catchphrase. F in hell. That's dreadful. Yeah, and then, so when did this come out? This was from Friday the 13th, which nothing happened. Friday the 13th, and it was Sunday, another huge announcement came out, so maybe Russell lies, right? Maybe Russell isn't entirely truthful. So here was an interesting rumor that came out and came and went before I can make a video about it. I was quite excited about it. Doctor Who, Hot Fuzz director Edgar Wright relaxes fan speculation about his involvement in the next series. I mean, would be awesome. I love Edgar Wright stuff. I really would like to have seen Edgar Wright's take on Ant-Man. I think that would have been cool. You know what? It's always funny. I love that. What's that movie he did? Baby Driver, which was the last movie with Kevin Spacey, who I understand may well be a gay rapist, right? That's not overly friendly, but I do like him as an actor. I mean, my feeling on all this is, if somebody's done something, then the law is there for the law. We don't need hate mobs to cancel people, right? Oh, just a quick aside. People are been contacting me again about the John Barrowman, David Tennant release "Absent Friends," which was recorded. It's a talk show release, and recorded and shelved after John Barrowman was attempted to be cancelled, right? So there's so what was it? The story was people were annoyed because Bruno Langley still appears in a Big Finish release after he was convicted of basically what John Barrowman was accused of. So I have no confirmation of this whatsoever. I believe, and the rumor that I've heard is that it was the BBC, not Big Finish, that put a stop to that release. They are the license holders. They can say whatever they want, and it feels more in keeping with the way BBC does business, especially in the current era. Although they've always been scum, right? They've always been scum. I really recommend Richard Molesworth has a very good book called The Life and Scandalous Times of John Nathan Turner, which maps out basically his life, but particularly his life around Doctor Who. And there's a chapter in it that says the BBC never forgives somebody they wrong, right? Because they're just completely immoral in every way, shape, or form. So that makes me think that they put the kibosh on it. Hopefully when in October when Creative Control moves to Bad Wolf, they'll be able to release it. I don't know, but I wouldn't be mad at Big Finish about. Be mad at Big Finish about making crap stories. Okay, that you can be mad out of, but they don't do that. So after that, again, another side, their relaunches this year have been fan-frickin-tastic. If you haven't heard the third Doctor release, which also has was it David Troughton as a second Doctor in it? Who is it? David Troughton or Michael Troughton? One of the Troughton boys. It's really good. It's really, really good. And what's it? And the Peter Davison one, the 40 release, was also really good. I was surprised how good it was. And Stephen Noonan's first Doctor. More of that, please. I think they're really, really knocking out of the park after having a real wobble over a few years. Fine, let's get back to this. Doctor Who, Hot Fuzz director Edgar Wright reacts to Spantex speculation about his involvement in the next series. Filmmakers seem to refute that he will be joining the long-running sci-fi show, but fans still think they have reason to be convinced otherwise, even though he said no. Right? Here we go. There you go. Johnny Depp, go away. Okay, here we go. As I'm sure Amber Heard is saying as well. By the way, obviously I'm on Team Johnny. Just people get upset about these things. You got to say them out. Hot Fuzz filmmaker Edgar. Why do they keep saying Hot Fuzz? He's done a lot better movies. Has reacted to fan speculation that he'll be involved in the next series of Doctor Who. The director shares a series of clues on social media just days after announced that Ncuti Gatwa will be joining Doctor Who in the future, taking over the lead role from Jodie Whittaker, who I do not think there's going to be a regeneration, right? I really don't. I think there's going to be no connective tissue between Rusty Davies's new Doctor Who and Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. I honestly, it seems to me, as it's really done very, very poorly. According to every freaking metric, it's done very, very, very poorly. I think it's he's in a similar situation in 2005, where people just assumed Doctor Who had very low production values, like were very ropey, had bad production values, and that's why the end of the world was what, the second or third episode. It was. I'm thinking it was the third episode because I really like that traditional Victoria. Was it the Christmas one with what's it called again? Tale of Two Cities. A Christmas Story, a Christmas Carol by Simon Callow. That's the closest I'm gonna get in my adult memory. But the reason they did a high effects episode very, very, very early on, right, was to break that national consciousness that Doctor Who was a cheap piece of tat, right? I think there's a national consciousness that Doctor Who is a bit annoyingly preachy bit of tat, right? I mean, that tiny bit preachy bit of tat with stories that are boring and don't engage people. So I mean, and it's not an unreasonable allegation to lay at it. So I think that's really one of the first things he has to do is like reestablish it as a really incredibly successful brand. And again, I want to say, if you're somebody who has loved this era, God bless you. It's not been successful, right? It's not been successful. It shouldn't impact on your love of it in any way. I love Trial of the Time Lord at the time, and season 24, even though, you know, that wasn't a recipe to go down well with the leaders. Let me tell you. It was like, really? That was like anti-Viagra in the mid-80s. Well, thankfully, I learned reasonably early on to keep my mouth shut. I had to be dating somebody quite something. I remember I worked out that I dated somebody long enough that I would be able to browse the Doctor Who section in a video shop and buy Terror of the Zygons, in front of her. That was after a good 3-4 months of dating, right? That's how unpopular Doctor Who was. Oh God, this was in the 90s. It got more popular in its last two seasons, in the last two McCoy seasons, especially that last one. It was like became the hip thing to watch again. At least, I was what? How old was I? 19, 20 around then, and no, 19, like 18, 19, and like a bunch of my normie friends were watching it then as well. On Tuesday, May 10th, Wright shared a photo of a blue door with wet paint sign affixed to it, strongly resembling the TARDIS. Another post depicted a pattern of hexagons resembling the TARDIS interior. A third clue shared on May 11th showed a diamond chandelier. Okay, well, this seems like he might be trying to say something to us. Do we have the other ones? No. This seems like he might be trying to say something. Okay. As a result, all is speculated that he was in fact cryptically teasing his impending involvement in the long-running BBC series. He would be perfect, right? Perfect to helm the series. He's got a very fun, responsive, iconic style, right? I really think he would be. It sounds like he's not, but I think that would be successful. I think that will be fun. I think that will be new. I think that will still be Doctor Who, right? If you differ, that's fine, baby. That's fine. As a result, followers speculate that he was in fact really serious. However, Wright seemed to refute the suggestion on Twitter to an article which claimed he could be the latest glitzy addition to the next series of the iconic show. Untrue, he tweeted in response. Well, that does sound like he's not, right? That's a bit of a bummer. However, some fans have suggested that response could be, in fact, deliberately misleading, highlighting the use of the phrase "next series," which he was disputing. Ooh, it's untrue. The 6th anniversary special doesn't count as the next series. One person wrote. It seems a little bit, like they're grasping at straws because it's a standalone special and not a series. I see through your deceptions, Andrew Garfield. What's it called, Andrew Garfield? Another quip alluding to the misleading denials by the press. By Garfield before the release of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Maybe he is. Oh, listen, I hope it's right. The true names of Instagram posts is still unclear, though it's likely to be divulged in the near future. Well, listen, I do hope he is, right? I really, really very much hope he is. I think that'll be great casting, and I think that'll mean that we're going to do very well. So let's have a look at this article here. This is from May 10th, right? May 10th. So this is just under a week ago. I'm still catching up, right, with all the Ncuti announcements. And listen, I hope this isn't his outfit. It's a good look for him, though, I have to tell you. And look, one of the things I like about him is just like his joy at the role, right? And I never really got that about Jodie Whittaker. I got her joy at a woman having the role. I never got his joy at having the role. It's a massive moment how Ncuti Gatwa will shake up Doctor Who. Okay, let's see what they have to say. What does it mean to have the first black Time Lord? It's really nothing. Honestly, I really don't think it means anything. If you're somebody who's black and likes to see black people on TV, I'm very happy for you, right? Me, it doesn't swing the dial either direction. If you've seen the 1990s Neverwhere with Patterson Joseph as the Marquis de Carabas, he would have been an awesome Sixth Doctor, right? He would have just been an awesome Sixth Doctor. If you can find that and have a look for yourself, let me know what you think. Writers Tate Thompson and Jenny Colgan. So Jenny Colgan, I heard that, and director Mark Todoril on why he'll alter the whole Who universe, right? Doctor Who changed it. Doctor Who changes lives. I agree. For a science fiction writer, Tate Thompson, an episode from his childhood was so scary that it went on to inspire one of his books several decades later. Jenny Colgan was such a fan that even boys couldn't get in the way of her eventually writing Doctor Who novels. I don't understand. What barrier to bloody entry do you think there is for women writing science fiction? I mean, like, I don't understand. Like, Kate Orman was one of the greatest Doctor Who novelists of all time, right? Can't wait to hear a Big Finish novel that she's doing next year. Like, there's that Lloyd, right? There's so many great female Doctor Who writers or science fiction writers. It seems it's just a delusion, right? What boys are saying? No. I mean, no, we don't want there to be only women, right? I mean, look, and the reason it's not because they're women, it's the reason because it makes quality go down. There was a big push over the last few years for a Big Finish to recruit women to write Doctor Who. And again, if somebody can demonstrate me to any barrier to entry there is to writing for women, go ahead. Now, okay, you might want to say, oh, there's a casting couch. You might have to sleep with a producer. Yeah, that's nothing to do with me. That's nothing to do with the sick Hollywood society. I mean, honestly, what this all came from is when Me Too went down. Didn't we all know about the casting couch, right? When Me Too went down, the way to defend themselves from it, Hollywood defended itself from it, who were completely guilty and culpable for it, said, oh no, Me Too happened. Oh, it's which was obviously a Hollywood problem, right? And they go, oh, this is all men are bad, all men, not just us, all men. No, you pieces of shit. No. This was you in the entertainment industry and nobody bloody else. You are the ones who protected Harvey Weinstein for years and years and years, right? You all knew what was going on. You all knew what was going on 100 times times over, none of you gave a shit, right? And then you got caught with your pants down, and then you blamed everybody else, right? That's essentially Me Too. Right, so that was a bit of a side. As the first black director of a Who episode, Mark Tonderdale still remembers the huge sense of responsibility he felt handling the Rosa Parks storyline. An atrocious episode. An absolutely atrocious episode full of massive plot holes all the way through. Again, go and look at my channel. I did a deep dive in it. It makes no bloody sense. I mean, Kratsko, he's from the 50th century, and if Rosa Parks never moved a seat, then you're saying black people would always 30 centuries later would have no civil rights. What absolute nonsense, right? Like, what absolute insane nonsense. And they were trying to like stay undercover, and then they break into a hotel, and then they hide there. It was garbage. It was absolute garbage. So look, mate, I hate to say this, but the reason that you were hired, Mark, wasn't because of your directing ability. It was for your skin color, right? It was just coincidental. And I'm saying that story is a real representation of how bad this era was and how toxic it was. Now it's about to change the life of Ncuti Gatwa, the first black male lead to be cast as a doctor. What do the panel think of news, and how might it change the show? So Tate Thompson. The first thing I have to note is when we're talking about the first black doctors, we've already had, yes, I know, but everyone's forgotten her. We've already had Joe Barton, the future doctor. Everybody's already forgot about her, right? I think the Chibnall era is gone. Not been popular, not been successful. It is gone. We can't remove the fact of her being the doctor. It's already gone. It's gone. I'm sorry, mate. And yes, you'll have comic books. Your Big Finish are doing a couple of box sets. I don't think there's enough fan interest, right? I don't think there's enough people who are willing to put down their money on future Doctor Who stuff to make it financially viable. So, and I think it's going to be memory hold. Exactly like Paul McGann saying, I'm half human on my mother's side. Honestly, I think this whole era is going to be retconned out of existence, probably by Chibnall himself in the centenary special. Oh, God, an hour and a half I've got to watch that. That was it. The second thing to say is the casting of Ncuti Gatwa is an inspired choice. Actually, I agree with him, right? I think it's a very, very good choice. I'm warmed up to it a lot more than I was. First, I was fine with it, but I'm more excited about it now. There will always be people upset by a black doctor. Again, why are they upset? Are they upset because they think black people can't be a science hero, can't be a dashing romantic lead? Or are they upset because they think the character's been white for 60 years amongst, many incarnations, and this is more identity politics, which has been used disingenuously to bring toxicity to fandom? I don't think it's going to be, right? But I think one is racist, one isn't. Saying it's a diversity hiring or an attempt to be woke. It's not, and again, you can't say we're living in a world where we had minimally 5 years of diversity castings in an attempt to be woke. I mean, the reason that guy was hired, I don't think he would be hired if he was white, right? I don't think Sagun Akula would be hired if his name was Reg Bloggs and it was white and lived in Clapham with red hair. Right? I don't think it would have happened. And I'm sorry to say that, right? I'm not saying, don't hire black people. No, I'm saying don't tokenize human beings. It's a bad thing to do. Don't judge anybody by their identity. It's a terrible thing to do. So anti everything that is Doctor Who. But anyone who says that, just watch Sex Education, then you understand why Gatwa will make a fantastic Time Lord, because he can pull off the mercurial madcap nature required. He has the energy and physicality to bring, and he brings youth to the role. I agree with all of that, right? And it's good to have energy and physicality. I mean, that's what Sylvester McCoy brought to the role. Blassie will be coming to young fans already. I'm happy to stick my neck out and say he's going to go down as many people's favourite Doctor for a long time to come. I agree. I do agree. But now we have to be upfront with you here. Tom Baker is always going to be my favourite Doctor. I have a theory, completely unproven, that whoever the Doctor is between the ages of 5 and 10, when you first experience Doctor Who, right? So for me, I measure every Doctor against Tom Baker. That's why I think the Jodie Whittaker series is just going to be forgotten forever, because it hemorrhaged viewers. It repelled people rather than bring them in. I was hiding behind the sofa. That's normally how I watch the show, covering my face from my fingers. Watching Doctor Who as a kid inspired my own science fiction in every way. I remember one episode, The Seeds of Doom, awesome, where a giant plant was slowly growing outside this building. Well, it wasn't the guy transmuting into a plant that freaked you out. There was just that. People were trapped inside and the vegetation was breaking its way in. I think you can see a link for the parts of my second book. I've never read anything you read. It didn't bother me growing up that Doctor Who was always a white man. I know that people talk about role models and being able to see themselves in characters, but for me, that's never been tied to race. Oh, I like you already, right? Again, we got to be able to see deeper than the absolute most basic skin, right? You got to be able to see deeper, look into people. It's always been about quality of the character, but when you include somebody with a perspective that hasn't been seen before, it will always expand the view. Agreed, right? And it's all about motivation. What is the motivation behind the casting? I also expect it to expand secondary media that comes with Doctor Who. The comics, novelizations, even the fan fiction will change. Yes, I'm so excited, right? I love fan creativity. I think the fan creativity is going to explode. We have all this technology. People can do incredible things, right? Absolutely incredible things in terms of fan creativity. I'm not going to limit it to any things. And I love it. I absolutely adore that. And I think there's going to be such an upswelling of joy around this. There we go. The idea of having a regular Black Doctor has always been explored in fanfiction. Maybe having a Black Doctor will open up new storylines. All that, I don't really think so. Although when it comes to science fiction, they've been limited by anything before. The limit is the writer's imagination, and people. I think being black in terms of dealing with history, there's about a 200-year period that Doctor really should avoid. Right? The Doctor should really avoid. Other than that, he's going to be fine, isn't he? Casting an actor will bring an added flavour to Doctor Who fans from around the world. I remember the 70s and 80s when black actors were completely disposable. You think actors were disposable? I don't think so. In sci-fi horror, there was an unwritten rule that a black character always dies first. Oh, that was in American movies. I don't know. Listen, if you say so, you say. I'm not going to dispute. I have no data, right? It makes you begin to question the humanity of those characters. I don't know. Honestly, I believe people making movies in the entertainment are horrible, awful human beings. I think they're racist. I think they're sexist. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Don't judge the world by the entertainment industry, who are, let's face it, low-life scum. Although we know when true equality has been reached, because that will be the day when having a black doctor is no longer newsworthy. And honestly, if it wasn't for the Jodie Whittaker years, I'm going to wrap up there, right? I'll do the rest of my live stream tomorrow, right? If it wasn't for the Jodie Whittaker years, it wouldn't have been an issue, right? It wouldn't have been an issue in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't an issue when John Boyega was cast in Star Wars. It was an issue for me how they destroyed his character. And again, I feel that's Hollywood racism. I really do. But did anybody go, oh no, there's a black man in Star Wars? I mean, I'm sure somebody did somewhere, right? Was it a prevalent thing to do? No. Because the real bottom line is, Western civilization isn't racist. Western civilization isn't bigoted. It just isn't. It's welcoming. It's plural. It's full of pluralism and opportunity for everyone. If there's ever somebody who doesn't have equal opportunities based on their identity, I'm with you, baby. We got to stop that. But I don't think that's going on, right? I do not think that is going on going on at all. And I think there's a lot to be excited about. Really, genuinely, I think there's a lot to be excited about in fandom. And I am excited. Call me a simple-minded, forward optimist. I am genuinely excited. I hope you are too. And if you're not excited, I hope it's so good it wins you over, right? I hope it's so good you go, oh my God, this is great, right? Why? Because the world's a better place that way. And it's not a bad thing for the world to be a better place. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.